Hi, this is Kim Schneider coming to you from Port Ewing, New York. Today I met my new PCA. Her name is Cynthia. Her family comes from Mexico. I'm super duper excited because she said that she would teach me more Spanish, and she seems like a gentle and kind person. She will be back at 4. We just got done training her. Octavia and I think that she's good people, but we never can tell. I thought that Barbara was a good person too before she stole from me. Anyway, I just want to say that the new people are doing very well. Rasheen is getting used to the place, and Stefan is excited about the new people starting. Now he doesn't have to be the new person. I believe he's even starting to be more professional. But when I say starting, I think he has a lot more to learn. Perhaps he'll take a chapter out of Rasheen's book. Rasheen is very professional, yet very kind. He's worked for Always There for 10 years, and Cynthia is just starting this type of work. Anyway, I'm excited about the new prospects starting. And I hope that I can be a good boss. Anyhow, I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. Yes, my hair looks a little wild today, but Rasheen took great pride in brushing it this morning. I suppose I'm going to have to get some new hair products as my hair gets longer. I'm going to make sure that I get a pick for my hair too, much to the delight of my grandmother. She likes it when my hair is all wild and free. I do miss Christine, but she's happily in Germany right now celebrating Oktoberfest with her friends in Poland. I guess she went back to a party school. So I had no idea that medical schools could have so many parties. I suppose I was wrong. I thought she was going to be more serious about her studies. But she's going into plastic surgery, so how serious could you be, right? Most people think about plastic surgery and think about the Kardashians. Christine and I used to joke about that, but she wants to work with babies with cleft lips, and she wants to work in Doctors Without Borders. Something tells me I will see her again someday. But for right now, I'm sticking to the United States. Brett Kavanaugh has recently been sworn into the Supreme Court, which scares me to no end. I was speaking to my friends about it. If he and his cohorts overturn Roe versus Wade, there will be no mercy for a sensible woman anywhere. It bothers me and scares me to no end how the FBI just researched and questioned Judge Kavanaugh for 1 week, and how everyone just buckled and let him go get into the Supreme Court because they were intimidated by Donald J. Trump. I suppose I will have to stay here despite wanting to pick a country and just leave. I cannot in good conscience leave my countrymen without a fight. I am a good citizen, and I am not treasonous against my own nation, but I am saying to you, as voters, please think about what you're doing. Don't be seduced by Donald Trump, the movie star. He's all for firing people and knowing and only working on his bottom line. If you like him personally, you will get promoted. Know that he is a businessman. He does not want what's right for this country. All he wants is what's right for his pockets and those of his family members. He says he wants to make America great again, but so did McCarthy. Remember McCarthy, people. Remember Nixon, who said he would not steal from the American people. Hell, even Bill Clinton, someone I greatly admired, swore up and down publicly that he did not sleep with Monica Lewinsky. True, most politicians lie and cheat, but I'm not sure, but I believe that Donald Trump might be the Antichrist in the flesh. If you are a fan of Stephen King, read The Stand and you will understand what I'm talking about. Perhaps Stephen King, in his ultimate wisdom, foretold of this president. Or perhaps in his ultimate brilliance, he knew that sooner or later there would be a president that did not care enough about his people. He used a very traumatic example, but it did work to frighten most people into submission. To this I bow down to the king. Stephen King is the scariest dude I've never met. And I would not have the pleasure of meeting him in my lifetime. John Carpenter, too, made a great example out of Escape from LA and Escape from New York. Escape from New York was one of my favorite movies growing up, simply because I lived in New York and I always wanted to escape it. But when I watched Escape from LA as an older woman in my 20s, it had a more sinister overtone. Kurt Russell was like Mad Max in both films, and I loved him for it. But I often wondered what possessed him to take on both roles. Over a 20-year period, he had to focus on his own family. Kurt Russell is one of my personal heroes. And, of course, Goldie is. She has a certain light around her. You can't help but laugh. I actually read her book and was very impressed with myself that she had it in large print so people with disabilities could read it, no problem. Now that is a classy broad. I will always admire her for that. I wanted to say that this is indeed a long video, but I also wanted to say that there are going to be changes around here, and I wanted everyone to be prepared, including myself. I'm going to take my life more seriously. I love the life I have, but I think I've been a little bit careless with it. From now on, I'm an artist and a writer. That's what I do. I'm an artist and a writer. If you don't want me to write your story, I will not. If you don't want me to paint for you, I will not. That much I will pledge to my friends and my family. But I will write and paint for myself. And for the children that I haven't met yet, I will write for you. I will paint for you. Adults have their own role models, but when I was your age, I did not have many role models to deal with. The only role model I seemed to have was Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. Ronnie Milsap also became blind. And later in my life, Jerry Jewell became a role model. She also had cerebral palsy and was on Facts of Life for many years, until she wasn't anymore. She got older enough, and just as they were getting to the point where they could date boys, she mysteriously disappeared off the show. I found out later that she argued with the producers about giving her a love interest, but they thought it wasn't going to be interesting. Although I've never met her personally, I've heard wonderful stories and would love to meet her. She's funny and smart, like me, with my art. She's been a comedian for many years, and she's married. Something that I have always wanted to do, be married. And have a stepchild sooner or later. If either one or both of those dreams comes true, I will be a lucky woman. But if they don't come true, I will be lucky as well, because I realize that I have a good family and they love me very much. And I've been lucky in my life. I've had many boyfriends now, but only one lover. He will always be in my heart. But he has moved on, and I am happy for that. We were not good. We were not really meant to be. We were, as Shakespeare said, star-crossed lovers to begin with. But it was fun while it was going on, until it wasn't fun anymore. We ended up taking advantage of one another because we spent a lot of time together. Take my advice. Don't take advantage of someone who loves you, because sooner or later they won't be around. I would also like to say that in the next few weeks, I will be painting and writing a lot more. And my children's books will be out next year. Hopefully, I keep calling them books, but they will be graphic novels, so that I can get a wider audience. I am completely stoked and excited about this fact. Although it doesn't look like it now, I am very, very excited. I'm nervous about the future, but I'm determined to stay in my present and be happy whenever it is published. I'm hoping that both stories can be translated into an animated series, which would go on PBS or HBO. Both organizations, I feel, are open-minded enough to understand my end goals towards both stories. What the first one being Jungle Classroom, the second one being Inspire Me. However, if they are going to be put out at the same time, first one would be Inspire Me, and the second one would be Jungle Classroom. I got the idea of Jungle Classroom from watching Classroom Jungle. Sidney Poitier played a wonderful teacher. I never forgot that. I love Sidney Poitier so much. I wish he would do more movies, but after a certain age, he politely retired. Most of my favorite actors are doing that now. Jane Fonda has almost retired herself, and Robert Redford is planning his final performance too. Daniel Day-Lewis did his final performance not too long ago, and he's not even that old. I guess he wanted to be with his wife, whom he loves so much, and since she's Arthur Miller's daughter, he doesn't have to work ever again. Liam Neeson only does action movies now. My father used to sell him whiskey, Irish whiskey. He used to talk to my stepfather in his store. He used to say that Jim was the only one that would order the exact whiskey. I don't believe that to be true. I think he could get his whiskey anywhere now. But if he ever saw my painted hearts hanging in this store, you can't get those anymore. They were styrofoam hearts, and I made that specifically for my father. My stepfather was a lovely man, but he had many lives. He was a biker, he was a doo-wop singer, he was a Navy man. And then he had us. After he started focusing on the liquor store, he made it more like a family business. In the Christmas holiday, he would ask for his boys to come up and help him sometimes. my brother remembers that fondly. And I also remember the year that one of my old roommates stole some money from my father. I couldn't fathom that he would do something like that. But we made sure that he was prosecuted. As for television shows that I've been watching This Is Us, Amsterdam, The Good Doctor, and The Voice. I still think those shows are the best. Other than that, I watch Amanpour and Company and the BBC World Report. Sometimes I watch CNN, but not very much. And I love Hallmark Channel. That whole channel just makes me happy. They have so many movies with happy endings. Unfortunately, they're a Christian network, so I can't write a movie for them. Otherwise, I would. I know I've been doing a lot of talking this morning, but I just wanted you guys to know that I was more serious now about my future and my present. I know I haven't been that serious in the past, but it's about time for me to grow up. And as I told my brother Jeremy, I need to get my 401k together. I'm looking forward to getting a job at Walmart so I can get half off on most of the items that I want for my household. And staying in my budget would be nice. Anyway, there are so many things that I want to get for the house that little by little, as I'm getting them, I'm more appreciative. So far, I'm fixing up my kitchen. The last thing I need is a toaster oven. It's going to be red. That's right, I'm having a red and white kitchen. And trust me, I'm happy with it. And the next thing I need to get is a new toilet. I'm going to have to wait till November to get that. I think. Anyway, you don't want to hear about my everyday issues. I'm trying to fix up the house so I can have more staycations. also, so I'm not so itchy to leave the United States. Jeremy said that we could leave next year. To visit. Jeremy goes to Mexico more than I do now, but I've been there 7 times already, so it's almost like home. Anyway, it's almost like home, but not quite. Seeing palm trees for Christmas was a very weird experience, and one I didn't want to do again. So I didn't when my mother was alive, but now I wouldn't shy away from it. The only thing I want to do is get away from here. Somehow being a woman in the United States right now is scary to me. If I could find a companion who wouldn't mind going places, I would. Stefan's friend Gabe is very nice. But I'm not close with him, and I've only met him a few times. He seems very aloof. He has to be. He has a small child, and he wouldn't. Realistically, I don't think he would like a girl like me. No wonder. Not because I'm bipolar, but because I'm in a wheelchair. Most guys that are able-bodied either feel sorry for you, want to rescue you, or just want to prove that they can be with you. I'm hoping that Gabriel isn't like most guys. I can't wait to meet his little boy anyway. And I hope that we can all be friends. I would like to get out of my own head, get away from my fantasies for a while, start focusing on my career more. Gabe and his child would just be another fantasy for me, which I cannot obtain. Right now, he's having trouble getting custody of the child. It is not up to me to fight his battle. It is up to him. He is the boy's father, after all. But when I see him and when I'm with him, I like to be with him. He has a very calming personality. So I've decided that I should be Gabriel's friend. After all, I'm nearly 50. I should be able to have male friends who have children without constantly asserting myself into the role of stepmother, which may or may not take place. I am not being a fool over this one. He is way too handsome to go out with a girl like me anyway. I'm at the very least a 7. I am not well groomed or polished. He could be well groomed or polished. To me, he shines like a penny. You shine him up, you could take him out. But I'm not focusing on men at the moment. I'm focusing on myself, and I'm focusing on a plan to get out of here within the next year. So I can at least know what I'm looking for in a soulmate. But for right now, within the next year, I'm going to have to learn how to relax. That would be a good start. To top it all off, after this session, after the next session with Charles, he's leaving me and going into private practice. I am not looking forward to that change, but I will be alright with Felicia. She took care of me once, and she'll be alright. I'm hoping that she doesn't go into private practice yet. Or as soon as Charles leaves. Unfortunately, Hyde Park Family Practice is a state-run facility. That means nobody there gets paid half as much as they should. Once you go into private practice, you can pretty much write your own ticket. But if you work for the state or you work for a school system, you don't get paid half as much as you should. Dealing with people's depression and psychosis can often drive a sane social worker away from their chosen profession, making them want to choose some other path. Others stick it out, but I often think of them as warriors because they always have to put on smiles even when they are frightened of what the other person might do or say. My mother was a social worker for over 30 years. Her name was Lynn Schneider. She was born in Summit, New Jersey. She had me when she was 19 years old. By the way, Mr. Kavanaugh, She could have aborted me, but she chose to have me, and as a result, I had an extraordinary childhood which I will never forget. Sorry, I had to go off script for a little bit. Anyway, I miss my mother every day. She died 5 years ago from secondhand lung cancer. As for me, I don't think of death the same way. I want to do as much as I can with the life I have now. I don't want to even think about the word death, even though in some religions and cultures it's more accepted. I would rather not be placed in a box when I am not of this world. I'd rather not be cremated either. I almost wish I could be tossed in the sea and the fish could eat me. It would only be my body. But I know that this is a morbid thought, and I'm not thinking about it now. As I am 2 years to 50 and very pleased with the life I have. Now I just need someone to share it with. My beloved family keeps me together and centered. On this day, I wanted to say, I love myself. I accept myself. I accept my limits. But I also want to work harder to become a more independent person. I used to be more independent without fear. The older I have gotten, however, I am more afraid of my future. From now on, I will try to live it more in the moment and breathe, as Charles has taught me. I will miss him. Charles is going off to Hopewell. Everyone is saying, why don't you go with him? But I don't want to go to Hopewell because I don't want to end up seeing Bill Quinn. I knew it as soon as he said that he had accepted an appointment in Hopewell, that he was going to be seeing Bill in the future. And I don't want that awkward meeting again. This isn't to say that we couldn't be friends or that we won't be friends or that we'll never speak to each other again. I just don't want to see him right now. I want him to be able to move on as Patrick did to a nicer girl who's not as wild or as untamed as I am. I have come to the conclusion that I'm not an average girl. I will never be an average girl. I will never be. I will never be a yes dear kind of woman. I will say yes or no and stand behind you if I believe it to be true. But if I don't agree with you, I will not sit there and say, yes, honey, whatever you want. I tried that with my first lover and it didn't work. I became someone I did not recognize. And after that, I refused to change for anyone. I tried to change for Bill, and I tried to change again for Teddy. Both times it was horrible. But I still have the Bible that I bought. Someday I will need it again. It is by my stereo. I refuse to get rid of it. I am tired of talking to myself and not getting any results. Any long-term goals, I mean. So I'm putting in my journal today that my long-term goal is to have a part-time job at Walmart, go back to the ASPCA, and go back to my art class, and finally feel at peace with the choices that I'm making for myself. If I am meant to stay in the United States, I will. If I am meant to go somewhere else, I will. But the main thing I have to do is keep an open heart and an open mind. Both things will keep me at peace and keep me from going over the edge. Thankfully, this journal has helped me not do that. Go over the edge, I mean. When I talk to you guys, I I feel like you all understand me. All 14 of you. I'm starting to put these tapes on my Facebook page, hoping that I get more subscribers to this journal. My journal says my positive disabled life for a reason. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I realize in this video I've been very serious today, but there's a reason. There's a reason why I've been serious. Because I wanted to think about a lot of different things. Anyway, my life is going through some new changes, and I hope you'll stick around for the ride. Good luck and have a nice day. And night.